Hello, guys. Don't know if you can hear me okay. This is Craig Gordon. This is the first ever go I'm having a go at doing a wrestling YouTube show. So hopefully this is going to come out okay, and it's going to come out nice and clear. I've just actually done a radio show, and I'm going to try and recreate what I was doing on air as well here. As I say, what we're going to do on this is I'm going to be doing it live in person. I'm not going to be playing any themes or anything. I'm going to mostly talk about what's been going on in wrestling over the last week or so. We're also going to talk about what's been going on in the UK wrestling scene and also over in the States. So let's have a wee look over in the States. I'm going to start, guys, with Impact Wrestling and see what's been happening there. Sacrifice has been going on, due to go on the 24th of March. It's going to be held at the Windsor, Ontario St. Clair's College, and due to be there is Frankie Kazarian and Josh Alexander. They're taking on with Rich Swann taking on Time Machine. So Frankie Kazarian, Josh Alexander, Rich Swann taking on Time Machine, which is Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Kushida. For the Impact World Knockouts Championship, it's a repeat of the losers match that was from a few months ago. Mickie James had challenged Jordan Grace. Now it's time for Jordan to be the challenger against the Hardcore Country, and Mickie James is looking very good at the moment for what we're seeing on Impact, and it should be an absolutely brilliant contest, that one. They've set up a Busted Open match now. A lot of people have said Busted Open. Tommy Dreamer and Billy Ray have been on doing the Busted Open radio shows, but they've had a go at each other, of course, on the Busted Open stuff. They've done it on Impact as well. So what they're doing is they're having a match against each other, but for what I'm hearing, the match is going to be like a First Blood match, for what I've heard. So that could be interesting. Trey Miguel, who of course has spray painted the championship belt, the Impact X Division one, he will defend against Lince Dorado. Now remember, all of this is happening on Impact Plus as well. I think it's as Fight Plus and Fight TV as well. If you just check on that. Deonna Purrazzo, who helped Mickie James to retain her title recently against Giselle Shaw, will take on Giselle. Jai Vidal and Savannah Evans due to be in the corner. Also, Bullet Club Ace Austin and Chris Bay will take on TMDK's Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Also, Jonathan Gresham will take on Mike Bailey in a singles match. I think that's going to be a cracking match. PCO will take on Kenny King, and Joe Hendry will take on Brian Myers. And that is, as I say, all scheduled to go ahead on Friday. And to be honest with you, for what I'm hearing from that as well, I mean, you're going to have Impact on Friday, because Impact's event on Friday, you're going to have Impact on Thursday as well. And remember, next week you're going to have Multi-Universe United in Los Angeles as part of the WrestleMania weekend. You've got Rebellion coming at the 16th of April. Of course, you've got Josh Alexander to defend against Steve Macklin. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Mike Bailey are due to face each other at the Universe United. What's happened is it was meant to be Osprey. I think it was meant to be Osprey and Bailey, but Osprey is out due to injury. So that's a bit of a shame. This Saturday, at the Sacrifice Fallout, Mayu Yamashita will take on Killer Kelly. So that's going to be interesting. That Multiverse United has been set, guys. And what they've done is they've done a GIF on Impact. So I'm going to run through the matches the best I can. Of course, Hiroshi Tanahashi's one I've announced. You're going to have so many other amazing matches there. Kenta will be defending the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight title against Minoru Suzuki. And Yuyu Yamiru will take on Gabriel Kidd. That's on the Countdown show towards it. So that's going to be awesome. Moose and Myers will take on Joe Hendry and Dirty Dango on Impact this week. Eddie Edwards will take on PCO in the fallout from Sacrifice. What else have we got here? Tommy Dreamer, as I say, and Bully Ray at Sacrifice, guys. I think that's just going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. And as I say, the multi-universe one just looks like it's going to be absolutely mental. And as I say, they did have a GIF up for it, but you know when they put the GIFs up, it's all too quick for us here. I've actually got the matches here, guys. So Josh Alexander will take on Kushida next weekend. Mike Bailey will take on Hiroshi Tanahashi, as we said. Josh Alexander and Kushida's matches for the Impact World title. Trey Miguel versus Clark Connors versus Frankie Kazarian versus Kevin Knight versus Rich Swann versus Rocky Romero. 6-way scramble match for the Impact X Division Championship. As I said, Kenta and Minoru, which will be an absolute freaking war in my mind. Bullet Club's Ace Austin and Chris Bay, of course, the champions, versus Aussie Open. Aussie, that is Kyle Fletcher and Matt Davis. Now, this is, of course, the Bullet Club still champions. The More City Machine Guns and TMDK. It'll be a 4-way match for the tag titles. 8-man tag, Alex Coughlin, Callahan, Fred Rosier and PCO take on Eddie Edwards, Joe Hendry, JR Kratos and Tom Lawler. And Mickey James versus Donna Perazzo versus Giselle Shaw versus Mayu Yamashita. And as I say, as long as Mickey James is still the champion, it will be a title match. So that's what's coming up Impact-wise, guys, here. And as I say, I can't wait. I'm a massive fan of Impact and that. So looking forward to seeing how all that is going to go. Let's now go from Impact to All Elite. And of course, as I go with this live, of course, tonight in America, you're going to have the amazing AEW. And of course, on AEW, it's going to be amazing with it being Dynamite. And with Dynamite, you'll have some just unbelievable matches for what I'm seeing. From the picture that they've put out, as you can see, I'm doing a lot off my phone because it makes it a lot easier to find things. Kenny Omega against El Hijo del Vikingo. Dream match, that one. Hook will take on Stokely Hathaway, no DQ. Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting will take on Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade. Adam Cole will be in attendance as well. The Guns will take on Top Flight, and it'll be for the titles. And Tony Storm will take on Sky Blue. Of course, Ruby Soho and Saraya will be at ringside. I expect Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter will be somewhere watching on as well. Double or Nothing's going to be their next big event. And the thing is, who is going to be the next challenger for MJF? Because he looked absolutely horrible, didn't he? At the last Dynamite. I've not been able to catch up on last week's Rampage yet, guys. We don't get it here till Thursday on ITV4. So what we do is we get Dynamite 2 nights later, and then the following Tuesday we get Rampage. So when we're getting Rampage, like AEW Dark is ready to go on YouTube, and so is Dark Elevations the night before. So as I say, AEW looking good. Impact looking brilliant. Now, I'm going to go to WWE and see how this is looking. As I say, coming up to a very, very important weekend in WWE, of course, with Stand and Deliver and, of course, WrestleMania 39. And let's have a wee look. Now, Stand and Deliver, of course, there was stuff added to it last night. So if when you come to see this, you've not seen NXT, spoiler alert for you guys and girls. At the moment, for Stand and Deliver, this is the matches they have set up. Chase University, Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Tyler Bates, Joe Gay, Ripford, Jagger Reed, and Ava. It's an 8-person tag, and the winners take control of Chase University. Gallus will defend the tag team titles in a triple threat. It will be Wolfgang and Mark Coffey defending against Brutus and Julius Creed versus Tony D'Angelo and Channing's Stacks Lorenzo. So it's going to be a good one, that one, for sure, definitely. Wesley has, of course, got a fatal 5-way coming up. And Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov is in the first set of it. There's going to be one more added to that match. That, of course, is for the North American Championship. The Women's Tag Team Championship is going to be up for grabs. It's Fallon Henley and Kiana James, who, of course, will have Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen in their corner. Will take on Scotland's Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Brilliant to see the two girls doing so well. Of course, we knew Alba Fire, of course, over here as Kaylee Ray. So absolutely brilliant to see those girls going for championships on the big stage. Females again in action as the NXT Women's Championship is going to be determined. Of course, Roxanne Perez, shout out to her. She is still recovering after being in an absolute war with probably one of the most unbelievable people in wrestling today. That is, of course, Miko Satomura. What they've done is to set up qualifying matches. So at the moment, Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, and Lyra Valkyra is in the match. There's one more to be added, as far as we know, for that. but I think there might be two. They're saying one. I think there might be two. I think they'll make it a six-way. Johnny Gargano, Grayson Waller. Now, this went completely off the chart. Of course, Grayson Waller having a go at Shawn Michaels and trying to get a match with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels says, no. You're going to face a certain person. That person, of course, being Mr. NXT himself, Johnny Gargano. Absolutely brilliant that's going to be. Main event could steal the WrestleMania weekend. Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams should be in Carmelo Hayes' corner, but what I think is Carmelo might say to him, you go behind, you stay back. Let me and Braun sort this out. And I think that would be a great way to do things. Let's move on to WrestleMania. Let's tell you what's been set up already. The Usos will defend the tag titles against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That was announced on Raw on Monday. The men's showcase is all set. Strowman and Ricochet versus the Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. The women's match, there's still 3 teams to be added. I think that, of course, that will be done this week. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are already there. Wouldn't surprise me the likes of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler maybe being added to that. I don't know who the other two will be. There's a 6-woman tag being set. Trish Stratus and Lita, of course, Hall of Famers, teaming up with Becky Lynch to take on Damage Control's Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Of course, Lynch and Lita are the women's tag team champions. Austin Theory takes on the legend. That is, of course, John Cena. Gunther will take on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. Brock Lesnar takes on Omos. He'll have MVP in his corner. Bianca Belair will defend the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. Charlotte will defend the Women's SmackDown title against Rhea Ripley. And here's the 2 matches that are already set for separate nights. Night 1, Seth freaking Rollins against Logan Paul. And on night 2, Roman Reigns taking on Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Now, for me, that one on night 2, as I say, that'll be the main event. That will be an absolute cracker. I cannot wait for WrestleMania. It's just going to be amazing. It's going to be 6 for WrestleMania being in Los Angeles. WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 2000, and WrestleMania 21. And in the San Francisco Bay Area, of course, was WrestleMania 31. This will also be the first WrestleMania to take place under Triple H's creative control following the retirement of Vince McMahon in 2022. But in 2023, Vince is now executive chairman. This will not affect what Triple H does. Triple H is doing everything to do with it. So that's the latest on WrestleMania, the latest on Impact, the latest on AEW, as I say, coming up for you folks here on the first ever Squared Circle Wrestling show here on YouTube. I'm going to talk a wee bit for the next 10 minutes or so about what's going on here in the UK, because the UK wrestling scene is absolutely massive. What I'd noticed on my show on I was doing on radio, I didn't mention one company, and I am big sorry to the guys. 8th of April, they've got a massive event coming to Edinburgh, and it is Discovery Wrestling's Excellent Adventure. Set at the moment, tag team titles The Kings of the North defending against Deacon Matthews and Theodoros. Session Moth Martina taking on Emerson Jane. Chris Ridgway and Andy Roberts should be technical as hell. Of course, Chris Ridgway, the current Wrestle Carnival pure champion, he defended it against Ian Skinner. The last time he was up, and it was just an unbelievable match. Judas Gray, Dickie Divers, Ian Skinner, and Ryan Griffin in the always famous Discovery Wrestling Fatal 4-Way match. Good to see one of those back. Ryan Richards will take on Frank Gallo in a Disco Derby qualifier VIP match. So whoever wins that goes into the Disco Derby. Also VIP, Tayonga is going to make her debut up at Discovery. She's going to take on Debbie Dalmar. In the main event that's been set is no disqualification. Gene Money gets his second crack at Joe Hendry's championship. That's the Y Division Championship. The only championship that's not going to be defended, of course, is the women's title at the moment. We'll maybe find that out very soon if it is going to be defended, because Casey did defend it at the last one, and it'll be interesting to see if they do all 3 title matches and who she's going to be facing. So there we go. We mentioned there for Discovery Wrestling, and apologise that they didn't get the announcement that on the radio show. Also, just to let you know, Discovery Wrestling are going to be taking over the running of Reckless Intent. Due to other commitments out with Reckless, they don't have the time to put on shows to the quality and the standard the fans deserve. So Discovery Wrestling are going to be running shows at the Muirston Skate Hall in Livingston going forward. The show that was due for the 1st of April in 2 weeks' time, in a week's time, because it's 2 weeks' time for Disco. Next Saturday was meant to be Reckless Intent. So what they've done is they've decided not to do the event. If anybody had bought tickets, they were getting a full refund. And hopefully we'll find out over the coming weeks and months what's going on with that. And hopefully there's going to be shows coming up in Livingston very, very soon. Let's talk about 1PW now. 1PW, of course, made its return. And they have such a brilliant thing coming up. Devil's Due is due on the 10th of June at the Engine Shed in Lincoln. Of course, the Lincoln area is, of course, synonymous for Fight Factory Wrestling. So, absolutely brilliant. That event's coming up in August as well, the 12th of August. It's a Saturday. The Doncaster Dome will have Know Your Enemy. The next big one, though, is All or Nothing, 22nd of April at the Doncaster Dome. Zaya Brookside, Lizzie Evo, Millie McKenzie, Nina Samuel, Sesimoth Martina, Alec Windsor, Danny Luna, Tionga. 8 ladies, gauntlet for the gold. And I'll tell you something, that match is going to be an absolute cracker. It's basically going to be 2 competitors will kick off the match in the ring, new competitor every 90 seconds. Eliminations can be done if someone's put over the top rope, both feet touching the floor. So it's going to be like a wee Royal Rumble kind of thing. The last 2 wrestlers will then compete under regulation single match rules, so pinfall, submission, disqualification, count out. The winner of that will become the first ever 1PW Women's World Champion. There's going to be an open weight scramble, which I'll tell you about in a second. All 6 wrestlers will start the match in the ring. A wrestler can become interim champion by scoring a pinfall or submission. Interim championship reigns are not recorded as official. After 20 minutes, whoever is interim champion will be declared the winner in the brand new 1PW open weight champion. So that's an interesting one. Now, that is, as I say, it's a big scramble match, that one, guys. You're going to have also Ricky Knight Jr. and Charles Crowley taking on Amir Jordan and Will Cruz, and that's going to be a kickoff match. So if you're in early doors, you'll be able to see that match before it all starts. You've got matches going all the way through for the world title, because the world championship's getting decided on the day as well. But you've got Welsh Subculture, which of course is Morgan Webster and Mandrews, against the Bullet Club, Bay and Austin, against the Rascals, which is Trey Miguel and his partner, alongside the Boisterous Behaviour. Ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships. The world title is going to be defended, as I say, and they're going to have 4 quarterfinals, then 2 semis, then a final on the day. Will Ospreay is scheduled to face Bobby Fish, but I don't know if he'll still be able to make it due to, of course, pulling out recently. Martin Stone to take on Cara Noir. I've got word about Cara Noir very soon, about something else. Also, you've got Mark Haskins, Ulf Herman, no DQ. That's going to be mental between the two. Lance Archer to take on Nathan Cruz as well. Nathan Cruz is one of my favourite wrestlers. I will go out on record and saying that I love Nathan Cruz. I've not had a chance to meet the man, but I've got a lot of respect for the man as well. So that could be a cracker. Former New Generation Wrestling champion on multiple times. That open weight scramble. Robbie X, Leo Rush, Frankie Kazarian, Luke Jacobs, Callum Newman, and Scotty Rock. That's what I'm saying. All 6 men will be in that match from the start. It's going to be a belter. It's going to be an absolute belter. I must say, I cannot wait for it. As I say, they've had a couple of events since they came back, and let's see how long it's going to be that they're going to keep going. As I say, the last time, as I say, they were booking stuff that problems out with, but let's hope 1PW just can keep things going and, of course, have a fantastic year coming up. Revolution Pro, their Revolution Rumble is this coming Sunday at the Yacht Call in Bethnal Green. You've got Chuck Mambo, TK Cooper, who have been put into it. Also, Mad Kurt, Sean Jackson, JJ Gale, Zack Sabre Jr. coming over from Japan. Francisco Akiri will take on Dan Maloney. It was meant to be Dan Maloney against Will Ospreay, but Will Ospreay has had to pull out through injury, so we don't know if, of course, he'll be at 1PW either. Cameron Kai will be also in the Rumble. Zach Knight will be there. Jordan Breaks will be there. Charles Bronson, Robbie X, Danny Jones. You're also going to have a championship match. The Great O'Khan, who recently won the belt off of Ricky Knight Jr. Can Ricky Knight Jr. get his belt back? It would be great to see if he does. Right. Now, we've covered the big stuff in America. We've done Discovery. We've just done Rev Pro. I'm going to go to ICW next. This is, of course, the Glasgow promotion set for the 26th of March. Jason Reed taking on Shay Monet. Also, Aaron Echo, Angel Hayes, Moxie Malone, Theo Doris, Levi, The KOE will take on Vice and Skinner. KOE defending the ICW Tag Team titles. Riho, the new World Women's Champion, she won it recently at the Square Go. She'll take on Denise and her second title defense. Sakiba Lee will defend the Zero G Championship versus Eddie Castle. And the Outlaw Stevie James will take on Kenny Williams, which will be a brilliant one. It's a stat card again. And of course, remember they're on Fight Club Plus now. Fight Club, sorry, is on Fight TV on Fight Plus. So you can subscribe to that, and then of course be able to watch him every week. I've got two more to look at. Two more companies in the UK, and then we're going to end this debut show. And then, as I say, we'll be doing this all going well every week here live on YouTube going forward. Pro Wrestling Chaos. Big congratulations are going out to the man they call Mulligan and the reigning Maiden of Chaos champion, Rain Leverkusen. Mulligan has been selected to fly out to America to train at the New Japan Dojo in Los Angeles. And Rain Leverkusen has announced that she's going to go out to Japan to tour with DDT Pro Wrestling for a couple of weeks. So all the best going out to them. And as I say, safe journey to them where they're going, and safe journey back as well. Ava White is due to face Rain for her championship on the 15th of April at Kingdom of Chaos at the Yate Leisure Centre. Also set for the Yate Leisure Centre, Tate Mayfair's against the Wild Boar, no DQ. I fear for Tate Mayfair's safety. Joseph Connors will get his shot at the Kingdom of Chaos Championship against Danny Jones. Rampage Brown also set to be there against Billy Hayes. It's going to be in Bristol. Meet and greet 5:30. The doors are 6 for general entries. 7 o'clock start. Tickets through prowrestlingchaos.com. And if you do go along, have a good one. Front row and meet and greet are all sold out. There's not many tickets left for the second row. And there's only about 20 left, and 10 left for third row, 10 left for standing. Right. The last thing I want to talk about, guys, is Progress. Anyone that knows me, I am a massive, massive Progress wrestling fan. And I mean massive. When they announced what was going to be happening for the next event in April, I was like, oh my God. The main event is inside, for the first time in Progress history, a solid steel cage for the Progress Wrestling World Championship. It's going to be the one and only Karen Noir, who got his identity back, of course, known as Tom Dawkins. Tom Dawkins has challenged Spike Trivet. Spike Trivet said to him, well, I'll tell you what, let's do this. The Vulture versus, Karen Noir. And as I say, guys, when I found out about this, I was like, nah, this is just going to be absolutely mental. The two of them inside of the steel, it's going to be just ridiculous. Two birds locked in a cage. What else can be said? There is a video going about how it's came about. And, it's the Vulture against the Swan. First time ever Progressive had a steel cage match. I'm just wondering what steel cage they're going to use. Are they going to get the one for Fight Factory Wrestling? Are they going to borrow it from another company? If it was me, I'd be using the Fight Factory cage because it's a vicious looking bugger. And there is some other steel cages kicking about, which are going to be brutal. But as I say, we'll see what happens. 23rd of April, tickets on sale now through the Dice app. They've also said on their page recently, day one of the Super Strong Style Weekender in association with WXW. Day one, both shows, Saturday, 27th of May at the Dome in Tufnell Park in London. It's going to be unbelievable. WXW joining them for night one. They're asking people who they think is going to be there for night one. I just hope it's going to be just an absolutely brilliant event. Gene Money's Daft Lads Emporium is now up on Progress Wrestling's Demand Progress as well. If you want to go and check that out, I'm going to go and check it out myself. But guys, if you do get a chance to check this out, I am planning to go live every Wednesday with this. I'm going to set a time and go live on YouTube every week, I think. I usually do this live on radio, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off radio and do it live on YouTube and see how it goes from there, But thanks very much for being here for the opening episode of the Squared Circle Wrestling Show here on YouTube. I will see you next Wednesday for episode number 2. Take care.